and I decided to see if I could perhaps open it. Indeed, this was proving to be more of a challenge than I had anticipated. I kept on running out of lockpicks. Perhaps that's only because I had one, and I was trying to pick a hard lock with a single lockpick. This certainly was futile, and I decided to return once I had achieved it. I had gained entrance to this man's residence and decided to see what I could gather here. He had a great deal of arms and armor simply lying around. I felt the need to sneeze in my journal and quickly gather up all these things he had laid out. I found myself very quickly to be over-encumbered, and I wondered what I had that could possibly weigh so much. I found that I had duplicates of some of the heavier things in life, but I did not remember how to drop items out of my inventory. This could prove to end poorly. Indeed. An iron helm to go with my ruined armor. I did not know what I was going to do, and I decided to return once I figured it out. I had finally figured out how to drop items out of my inventory, and I decided to not mess with these chests quite yet. There's also a great deal of weaponry here that I could at some point perhaps take for the betterment of humanity and civilization. As it turned out, Gilead was in fact the smith of this town, and I found yet another copy of this deceitful book about Knight Roland. Somebody had done their job well, and this man's name would forever be besmirched. I decided to see if I could perhaps find something interesting on this man's person. Perhaps I could take one of his lockpicks without him noticing. Perhaps not. The lockpicks were something that he clearly treasured or kept in one of his deeper pockets. However, I did find a small amount of gold, and decided that I would best be off after taking another potion. I also quickly checked his barrels to see if he had anything of interest in there. He did not. I decided to leave this man's house for now, and attempt to find the chest of mine in which I could store all of my newly found equipment for later resale. I found the smith's workshop to be right next to his house, quite logical in its placement, and another cemetery. These people seem to have a great deal of depths, and like to bury their people far and wide. I had found the tavern, however next to the tavern I did not find the chest for which I was looking. I continued through the town, investigating and trying to figure out where that chest of mine could be. For certainly I had to have placed at least one such chest in this place. I decided to talk to Brother Patrick and see what he could teach me. Ooh. He could in fact teach me a spell of fire, which I felt would prove to be quite useful. So I decided to purchase it and leave.
Hallo.
I also wondered why he would agree to teach me spells when magic was so clearly forbidden. Perhaps he trusted me.
Ich habe leider keine Zeit.
Unfortunately, this woman did not have time to talk. The god Malfa did not have anything for me to do, so I decided to excuse myself from his temple and continue to search for that chest of mine. Ah, so I was searching for my chest last I remember. I decided to walk past these men, and oh, there it was. My wonderful, bountiful chest. I decided to put away many of the weapons. And most of these stolen items. Actually, come to think of it, yes, there were a lot of them that were stolen. I also managed to steal his key and 4 iron ore. As it turns out, I was quite a thief, and quite unexpected to me, really. I did not know that I had it within me, but there was so much stuff, and it was so free. Free in the good way. It had its civil liberties and the social contract all laid out before it. There were 2 chests here that were labeled as easy, as well as a load of weapons. I figured I would go ahead and put away the weapons first. And then, see what could be done. Put away some of this extra fur armor, and, I carefully looked through my inventory to make sure there was nothing extra in there. And also decided to stash away all of the spider silks that I had gotten from the spider cave. I saw a book upon a barrel and felt the need to briefly glance at it. Upon entering the smith's house again, I decided to check in his drawers. I found a book there that I could read, and then, after reading it, drop it to the floor. Hope that he would not notice. Found also that he had far more fur armor stashed around here that I could take. His wife yet again looked at me in a haunted way. From here it looked like her eyes were open, and it was only when I approached her that they seemed to close. This being the night after Halloween, I knew not what roamed. Actually, come to think of it, this being June the 13th, I know not what roamed about. I opened the chest to find 10 hammers that I could use at a later point to repair any gear that I needed. I would return and try this chest again and again until it broke and exposed its secrets to me. I'd run out of lockpicks, but that was an illusion. I could always create more lockpicks when needed with alchemy and science. In the second chest, I found the contents were identical to the first. I roamed around the smith's house some more to see if I could perhaps find anything else of use, but it did not appear that there would be anything, except for a book written in German and more propaganda about the Knight Roland. I had no suitable meat within my inventory, or so I was told. Perhaps I could, perhaps I could bake some things. Or perhaps roast some... Never mind. I did not have any of the proper ingredients to cook. However, I did find some ham. I decided to try my hand at smoking it. I was successful. And I knew that it would restore my life energy. I also finally figured out what flour was quite useful for. Specifically in that it could be used to cook things. Found yet another hammer and more health potions. This was one blacksmith who liked to stay healthy. Punchline. I continued to go in circles around his house for a while. I was quite confused and didn't really know where I was going with this, but I was going somewhere.